Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I should scoot a little forward. All right. So, welcome to Sunday Pilates class. Slightly different setup today. I didn't realize that my mic was dead, so she's on the charger right now. So we're gonna work on the edge today, and hopefully, once I take her off the charger, she will hold for our class. But nonetheless, we'll do our little spiel here. So, welcome to Move with Sarah. I'm Sarah. I teach Pilates classes. So I teach Pilates classes every Sunday morning here on the East Coast of the States, 10 a.m. EST, which is this. Just an open level Pilates class. If you've ever been curious about Pilates or love Pilates, this is the class for you. It's open level, so everyone can take it. I also do cosplay Pilates classes that I call Cos Pilates. And every month, we're going to be starting in February on the third Tuesday of the month. I will be sequencing a mat class inspired by a character from anime, from pop culture, from movies, and dress up, and we will do a class inspired by that character. I'm thinking since the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth game comes out, I may do an open vote for everyone to pick which character we do. I've done Tifa Cos Pilates before, and I'm just personally a huge Final Fantasy fan and would be happy doing any of the Final Fantasy VII characters for a Cos Pilates. So, if you've got any preference on character, let me know. I'm really excited about this game coming out. I'm super curious how it's going to go. So, let me know. If you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. All right. So with that, we're going to get started in a minute. Excuse me. I'm going to take one more sip of coffee. And we're going to do, I called this Pilates LoFi. Is that how you say it? LoFi? I've actually never heard it said out loud. So I just say LoFi, Lofi when I'm feeling silly. So we're going to keep it smooth. We're going to keep it chill. And we're going to just kind of flow through things today. I might incorporate a little more stretching in because I'm feeling a little stiff. So we might see a little bit more of that sprinkled in. So if you haven't already, grab your mat, lay it on down. Let me know in the comments if you're here or have any special requests for exercise requests. And then we'll get started. All right, fingers crossed that we hold out on our audio today. All righty, here we go. So let's begin. Lying down on the mat. Let me clean up my cable management I'm better than this. I cable manage better than this. All right, we're gonna start lying down. Hug your knees into your chest and just let it feel good. There's a lot of spicy stuff in mat Pilates, but right now we're just gonna lie down on the mat, settle in, take a little stretch, do whatever feels good, flop around, wake up. And then let's bring one hand on top of each knee. We'll take a little stir in the hip joint, just circling the knees away from each other. And then reverse your circle. All right, from here, let's keep our head, neck, and shoulders down. Arms are gonna be long by our side. I want you to get your tailbone down. So right now, I'm smushing my lower back into the mat, and you can kind of see that my tailbone is lifting up off the mat. I want you to get your tailbone down. As I do that, my knees kind of go aligned with my hips. That's what we're looking for. So when you do that, we start to find our neutral spine here. So I want you to think tailbone is long and down on the mat. The bottom tips of the ribs reach towards the floor. And to do that, we feel the whole front body not just draw down towards the back body, but have a hug towards center. So it's not just down. It's not just sucking in your stomach and squeezing down. I want you to think that the sides of your body, that there's a magnetic center line that we're attracting to. 360. Our core is not just in the front of our body, it wraps all the way and attaches to our spine. So thinking about that 360, that 3D feeling of breathing in towards center. That's what's going to help us find that deep abdominal muscle, our transverse abdominis, and find a little more centering in our body. Keep the upper body long and soft. From here, let's take an inhale to prep. On your exhale, keeping the legs zipped together, just extend your legs to the ceiling. And see if you can keep your tailbone down. And then bend it back in. This doesn't seem like a lot, but this can be hard to do. The tendency is to smush the lower back into the mat as we extend the legs to the ceiling. But we don't want to do that. Can you draw the thighs closer to the chest without changing the tailbone? Let's go 3 more. 2 more. Last time, legs straighten up. Bring your arms up to the ceiling, keeping the shoulders down. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and reach your arms by your hips. Just the tips of the shoulder blades are up, or just tapping the mat, and think wide collarbones and you crease at your breastbone through your shoulders. From here, just lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Take an inhale. Exhale, roll up and hold into your curl. And lower back down. This last time, lift up and hold. Now the arms reach back, stay in your curl. And bring it back in. 2 more times. And in, curl through your arms like a picture frame. Last time. Hug everything into your chest. Rock yourself side to side. We're going to try something a little different with our 100 today. So get excited. You're going to reach your legs long down onto the mat. If this is your first time taking class, or you're working towards your more classic 100, which is here, I want you to take your legs into tabletop and do your 100 here. If you have done this before and want to mix it up, you can join me in this supine 100 position. So we're going to keep our legs long on the mat for this. I want you to point your toes and bring your heels together, toes apart in your Pilates stance. So our toes are only at 11 and 1 on the clock. We're not in the Russian ballet. No need to be incredibly turned out here. Keeping that connection to your midline. Keep the heels glued together. I want you to feel a lot of length through your legs here. Your arms are going to come up to the ceiling. On your next exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and hold. From here, we start our 100. Start to pump up and down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Think that you're reaching towards your toes. Your fingertips and toes are racing, and your fingers are trying to catch up. Keep that reach through the legs. Can you curl up a little higher? Inhale and exhale. Halfway there. Nice big pumps, no flopping at the elbows or the wrist. 3 more. And exhale. Keep that hug towards midline. 2 more. Draw the waist down. Exhale. Last time. And exhale. Lower down with control. Reach your arms back behind you. Interlace the knuckles. Take a long, yawning stretch. This is the only time I'll let you shrug the shoulders towards the ears. Lift the spine up off the mat. Just let it feel good. Big breaths into your stretch here. Now from here, let's find that connection again. Inner thighs connect. Flex your feet this time and bring your arms up to the ceiling. Get that neutral spine position once more. So get the bottom tips of the ribs down. Tailbone is nice and long. Take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll all the way up to seated. From here, dive forward. Grab your legs and drop your head. Take a stretch. Take an inhale here. Exhale, go a little deeper. Oh, my back is so tight. Reach your arms forward, go a little deeper, and then take your shape backwards, bone by bone. Lower back, middle back, upper back in that order. Let's do that again. Roll all the way up, and we'll take 3 breaths. Just dropping the head. Goes a little deeper. 2 more times. This last time, reach your arms long, reach past your toes. And then slowly take it back. We'll do 1 more like that. 1 more time, rolling all the way up. Draw the waist back as you dive forward. That's how you get your head closer to your knees. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's the magic of Pilates. There's a lot of opposition, conceptual. That's what makes it interesting, at least for me. From here, reach your arms long in front of you. Take it down nice and slow. How slow can you go? This time, really put the slow-mo button on. How slow can we go all the way down? Bend your right knee into your chest. It's been very cold in my neck of the woods, and I can feel how tight my back is just from being so stiff. Let's bring the hands behind our thigh, and you're going to lengthen the leg up to the ceiling and bend it back in. 2 more times, and bend it back in. This last time, walk your hands up your leg and pull the shape closer into you. Keep the tailbone down and just breathe here. Check in with those hips. It's easy to kind of hike up one hip. You can kind of see my little weird action here. Think of trying to line up both hips on a straight line. Now from here, release your leg. We're going to go for a little twisty single leg circle. This is actually more traditional to how Mr. Pilates developed the exercise. We're going to take the leg across our body and lift our hip with it. Normally we don't. Only the hip lifts. We keep the shoulders down, so you get a nice twist here. Take the leg around, set the hip back on the mat, and bring it back up to the ceiling. Let's do 2 more in this direction. Take it across, reach the leg long, find a twist. Bring it around and lift up. Last time in this direction. And now we reverse. The larger the circle, the more challenging this is. So find what works for you today. Take it around, find that twist, and then we get a little extra stretch in the outer leg as we bring it back up last time. Bring it all the way up, grab behind the leg, flex the foot, and take 1 more stretch here. And then slowly lower it back down to the mat. Let's switch sides. LoFi. My go-to lo-fi playlist is the anything Final Fantasy related. Final Fantasy lo-fi is my favorite. That's my go-to. Let's point your toe, because we're fancy, bring the leg up to the ceiling and bend it in. And lengthen and bring it up. This last time we grab higher up the leg maybe and draw the leg closer to us. If your shoulders are peeling up off the mat, walk the hands lower. We don't want to mess with our nice posture and positioning on the mat. Oh, this feels so good. And now from here, point your toe, leg comes up to the ceiling. Now we lift the hip, keep the shoulder down, bring it around and lift up. Kick it across, around and up. Last time. And now we reverse the circle. Are you breathing? Inhale out, exhale, cross it around, bring it back in. Inhale out, exhale, bring it around. Last time. And bring it up, flex the foot. 1 final stretch. I could hang out here forever. And then slowly lower it down with control. Recenter yourself on your mat. I got a little wonky there. Cool. And then let's move into our abs series. We're going to play with this a little bit because today's a little more chill. I want to play with combining some of the ab series exercises so that we don't have to do all 5 at once. We're kind of getting a BOGO deal on our ab series. So bear with me. So here's the choreography. Single leg stretch scissor. So this is fun. You're going to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and hold. Set up for your traditional single leg stretch. Left leg goes long, right leg bends into your chest. Now from here, I want you to extend your right leg up to the ceiling, give it a pull. And then as we switch, you're going to bicycle the legs. So you're going to scissor and then bend that knee in, give it a pull, and then lengthen it up to the ceiling, pulse. And then we take it again. Straighten it up, pulse, lengthen it down. So this is all about isometric hold and transition. So don't just throw away that scissor switch transition. Control that. And then lower down with control. That was different. Let's try it again because that was a lot of choreography. And you're probably like, what is she doing? So we're going to do it again. You're going to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and hold. Set up for single leg stretch. Right leg comes up to the ceiling, pulse. Scissor switch, or left leg into the chest. It comes up, pulse. Bicycle the leg in. Lift it up, pulse. Scissor switch. Lengthen, pulse. One more time each side. Pulse. And switch. Bend it in. Lengthen, pulse, and bring it back in. I kind of messed up that last one. That's all right. It's fun to throw some coordination stuff at our bodies. One of our Pilates principles that we like to play with, making the choreography a little different so that we're having to manage a lot of different things going on. Can be fun. This has to be fun. Or else what are we all doing here? All right, double leg stretch and lower left. A little spicier. So we set up for our normal double leg stretch where the arms and legs stretch away from each other. From here, arms and legs lift up to the ceiling. You return to your start position for lower lift and then bring everything back in. That's your choreography. Let's move. You'll curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and hold. We lengthen out. Lift everything up. Lower it down, circle it back in. Inhale out, exhale, lower, and bring it in 2 more times. And lift, and lower, and circle last time. And bring it back in. Nice. Crisscross is spicy. So we already did 2 of our exercises, which is pretty cool. We still have to do crisscross. Crisscross is always the spiciest of the 5. But we're going to do something a little different for crisscross today. We're going to combine our roll-up with our crisscross. I'm going to have you reach your legs long, and you got options here. You can have the legs as wide as the mat, or you can make it more narrow. More narrow will be more challenging. I would recommend don't go any narrower than inner hip width. So that's lining up with the bony landmarks of your hip points. From here, we're going to bring our arms up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, you're going to roll up on the right side of your body, favoring that side a little bit. Now we're going to lower halfway down just so that the shoulder blade taps, and then lift it back up, and lower, and lift. Keep reaching long through the legs. That was a cue for me as well. And lift. This time we come all the way down, tap the shoulder down, lift it up, circle around to the other side. We come down, tap the shoulder blade, and lift it up. Try and keep the hips down while still favoring that left side. 3 more. 2 more. Last time. Now we go around the world. You circle around. Favor that right side. Bring the arms up and around. Come up on the left side. Let's take 1 more in that direction. Find some control here it's easy to kind of let the gravity of our universe take you. You're going to come down with control on the other side, 2 more in the opposite direction. Last time. Sit up, stretch over your legs. And shake it out. That was a weird ab series. Hope you all kind of enjoyed that. We got to mix it up sometimes. This is also a space to play with these exercises, and I like to experiment a little bit. So I hope you are in for the ride on that. So let's do some spine stretch here. We're going to combine a shoulder mobility drill with our spine stretch position. So sitting up nice and tall, you want to be seated right on top of the bony landmarks of your sits bones. So that means we're not behind and we're not crazy forward slouching. I want you to imagine you have a chair back here that you're up against. And we're not just sitting up straight. I want you to feel a lift towards the ceiling, that you're not just being tall, you're actively growing tall. You're the verb. You're the verb of tall and not the adjective. So growing taller. So thinking about lifting the ribs from the hips and getting a lot of space in the waist here. This is going to be really important as we start to move through our spine stretch. From here, you'll bring your arms to be parallel to the mat. And if you can't sit up straight like this is hard to hold. Take a bend of the knees. It's going to give you a little more mobility in your pelvis to kind of shift a little more forward. We want to find as tall of a spine as we can. Take an inhale here and continue to feel that space get larger between your ribs and your hips. On your next exhale, you'll slide your arms forward and drop your head. The more you can draw your waist back and lift your ribs to the ceiling, the lower your head drops to the floor. And then slowly think roll up, stack up bone by bone all the way up to tall. When your head stacks, take your arms up and around, tap the back of the mat behind you. Stay lifted as the arms come overhead. We don't want to sink. And we go back into our stretch here. You drop your head, lift your ribs to the ceiling. Reach long through your heels. Feel a lot of length forward to the front of the mat. And then stack all the way up to tall. Lift the arms up and around, tap the mat. Keep the collarbones wide. Neck nice and soft. 2 more times. And lift up and around. Keep that lift. Grow taller as the arms move. Last time. And lift up and around. Keep your hands back here. Roll your shoulders open and take a little heart opener to the ceiling. Big breath in and big breath out. Drop your head if that feels good. Open that chest. Especially when it's cold, we spend a lot more time like this than we already do. It's important to keep that openness of the chest. Let's do some soa. So we're going to bring our hands to the tips of our shoulder, our fingers to the tips of our shoulders. You know, that's a scientific term. Your elbows are going to stay aligned with your shoulders, so we don't want them too low. We want to keep that lifted feeling here. So from here, hips stay where they are. You twist your rib cage to the right, just your ribs, and then come back through center. You wring out your waist like a towel and twist. And center. That feeling of growing taller is important here. Want you to grow taller as you twist. We're creating space to move into. The more space we create, the deeper we can twist. And twist. And center. This time we're going to twist and hold. Open your arms out to a T. Take an inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Take an inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Come all the way back through center. We take it to the other side. Twist to the other side. Right or left, doesn't matter. We do both sides. Grow taller on the inhale. Twist your ribs more on the exhale. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, deepen your twist. And come back through center. Shake your legs out. From here, we're going to keep the legs wide. We're going to go for a little stretch here. You're going to turn to face your right leg. Take your left hand, reach it past your pinky toe, and just drop your head. Little twisty stretch here. Maybe you add a little twist here. And then slowly come up, come to the other side. Come all the way back up. We're going to transition onto our stomach for swan. Oh, swan. I have a love-hate relationship with swan. I love it, but it's also hard. But it's good for me. It's just one of those things I'm always going to have a love-hate relationship with. We're going to do a little bit of a stretchy swan today to mix it up, and then kind of incorporate prep for a swan dive. So we'll get a little bit of motion going on. Motion like the ocean. What do people say? Oh my gosh, I'm so lame. I promise I'll get funnier before class ends. Keep your hands. So we're going to bring our hands underneath our armpits here. And you want your elbows to be hugging towards your rib cage. We're not chickens, we're swans. So keep the elbows close in. This is going to require some back activation here. Feel the shoulder blades not just glide down your back, but also set into place here. So it's not just pushing the shoulders down. I want you to think that you're engaging the side body and how that changes where the shoulder blades set on the back. Feel your triceps spiral towards the ceiling. So imagine you have a strip of paint down your triceps and you want to spiral them backwards so that your triceps are facing the ceiling. You'll start to feel that engagement right underneath the shoulder blade. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, you're going to lift your head and heart, press into your hands, and come up a little higher. Think abs up, hips down, and check in with your neck here. Make sure that it's aligned with your spine, and your gaze is just softly looking forward. Now think less lowering and more reaching long in front of you to lower down. So where you reach long to come down, like you're being pulled forward as you come down. 2 more times, lifting up with control. Open the chest at the top. And then slowly come down with control. 1 more time like that, and then we'll add on. Keep the shoulders rolled open, triceps spiraling backwards. Now from here, legs are going to lift up. Try and get your thighs to a hover. Lower them down, lift up into your swan. This is our swan dive prep. Lower down and lift the lower body. And then the upper body comes up. 2 more times. Swan dive is a crazy exercise. I don't even know if you can call it an exercise. It's one of the weirdest things to look at ever. But that's why I like it. Lower all the way down, press yourself back, find a child's pose. We're going to hang out a little longer here today, because I did say we're going to do a little more stretching. From here, take your hands over to the right. Left hand's going to come on top of your right hand. And drop your chest through your shoulders. I want you to reach your left hand long, almost like it's going to overpass your right. You're going to get a big stretch underneath your armpit. Feels really good. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing helps deepen stretches. It's totally underrated. Before we transition to the other side, we're going to come through center. You're going to bend at the elbows and clasp your hands together. Bring the knuckles behind your head and just drop your chest through your shoulders here. You'll get a big stretch in your triceps. Once again, breathing easy. Release your arms. Walk over to the other side. Lower down with control. Try and keep your hips square. You're going to get a little more stretch through the side body. And take big breaths in. All right, come back through center. Gonna come lie down in our sphinx position. Little tongue twister there for single leg kicks. So, sphinx position. Forearms are down on the mat. Shoulders and elbows are stacked one on top of the other. I like having a camera because I can get it perfect. You're gonna make fists with both your hands and give yourself a little fist bump. This is supposed to give you a little stretch in the wrists. This is the very classic Pilates way of doing this exercise. I don't know if I necessarily get a stretch in the wrist, but let me know what you think. And then from here, we're gonna zip our legs together. This is part hamstring curl, part extension. So think abs up, hips down. Our spine should resemble a long diagonal line and less of a U shape. We're not chilling out watching Netflix. We can do that after this. Press the mat away, find a long diagonal spine. Gaze is softly in front of you. From here, you're gonna take your right heel up, flex your foot. Kick it twice towards your booty, but each time it goes closer. So it's more of a hamstring curl. And then lower down we switch. You flex the foot up, draw it closer, closer, and bring it down. And kick, kick, and lower. Kick, kick, and lower. Kick, kick, and lower. We're gonna slowly progress this to a faster pace. Kick, 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 kick. This is the coordination element of it. And kick, kick, and kick, kick, and kick, kick, and kick, kick. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Press yourself back, find a child's pose. This time, take whichever child's pose serves you. You can keep the legs open, or you can zip them together. I find you get a little more stretch in the lower back when you do legs zipped together, but whatever works for you. I actually got a little bit of a wrist stretch during that. I guess I need to stretch my wrists a little more. I've been spending a lot of time at the computer more recently than I usually do. So it went from all the time to all the time. So I don't like when my phone sends me how much screen time I have. I don't want to know. I already know it's too much. All right, let's set up for side kicks, and we'll do a stretchy side kick series here. So lying on down, we're gonna do a real chill version today. I normally don't take this position, but I'm gonna do it today. You're gonna keep your right arm long, and you're gonna rest your head on your bicep. I normally do this, but we're gonna do the more chill one today. You're gonna bend your knees and come to what I call a side-seated position. So basically it should look like if someone's standing above you, it should look like you're sitting in a chair. Your shins are parallel to the front of the mat. Your hips are stacked one on top of each other. Top arm comes in front of your chest. Now this bottom leg stays bent. This top leg is gonna lift up and lower down. And lift up and lower down. 3 more times. Trying to keep the ankle and the knee aligned. Last time, lift up and hold. You're gonna stretch the leg long and bend it. How close can you bring it back in? And stretch. How close does the thigh come to the chest without anything else changing? 3 more. 2 more. Last time. Hold it out here. Swing the leg forward and point brush it back. And forward. Brush, bring it back. 3 more times. Trying to keep the leg at the same height the whole time. Easier said than done, I know. Last time. Flex the foot. Bring it to a hover above your hip. You're going to draw little circles with your heel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse your circle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right away the leg swings forward. We bend the knee, bring the heel towards the booty. Grab your foot and take a quad stretch. A little stretchy bicycle. Now from here you release the leg, stretch it long behind you, and then we swing it back to the front. Take your quad stretch. And reach. One more time. Bend it in, take your quad stretch, hold it here for a moment, stretch it long behind you, and then bring everything back in to your start position. Awesome. Before we move to the other side, we'll transition back to our stomach for double leg kicks. So you'll bring your right face cheek to the mat and stack your hands one on top of the other on your back. However high you can get the hands up works for me. You're just going to let the elbows flop down with grace and beauty. Your legs will zip together. Similar to single leg kicks, we do 3 kicks towards the booty, but with both legs, double leg kicks. You'll kick 3, 2, 1, legs press down, lock your thumbs together, lift up into a swan position. And then we switch our gaze and repeat, lower down. We kick for 3, 2, 1, and lift up. Roll the shoulders open. How high can you lift? 2 more times. Kick 3, 2, 1, and lift up. Last time. Kick 3, 2, 1, lift up and hold. Can the arms go higher? Can you lift your abs and upper back a little more? Hold for 3, 2, 1, lower down. Transition to the other side. This mat, I love this mat. It cost me a lot of money, but it's worth it. If you're curious about Pilates mats, they are very different from yoga mats. They are squishy and they're about a 1/2 inch thick. So where a yoga mat tends to favor like thin and grippy, this is the opposite. It's squishy and thick. And that becomes really important for certain exercises when we're rolling on our spine or doing roll-ups. We spend a lot of time lying on our back. And at least for me, I have a hard time doing it on the yoga mat. So if you're interested in a Pilates mat, you're going to find a squishy one that's about a 1/2 inch thick. And you can get them for $20. You can spend $75 on them. So you've got a lot of options and a lot of colors. I have another pink one that I like that is also really fun. That I'll have to break out for one of these classes these days. All right, so let's do the other side. Finding our side-seated position. So I just noticed that my top leg needs to come a little more forward. Now my hips are stacked. You can tell if you bring your hands to your hips, I want you to think that these hips are stacked, not just from that top angle, but if you're looking straight on, if you're looking from behind. Are we hiking one hip up over the other? Is one shifting forward and back? You want to find stacked from all angles. And that's going to require a little more stability through the center. Even though we're doing side kicks, it's still a core exercise. Keeping that in mind, hold your stability and take that top leg up to the ceiling and lower it down. Knee and ankle stay aligned and lower down. 3 more times. This one also doesn't look like much, but it really gets into your abductors here. This time you lift up and hold. We extend the leg long. Find that length through the leg. Reach long through your heel. Bend, bring it back in. Find a lot of reach. There's still a ton of space between my ribs and my hips, both when the leg is long and when the leg comes in. 2 more. Last time. This time we take the leg long. You kick it front and point, bring it back. And kick front and point, bring it back. 3 more times. Try to relax your head and try not to tense up the neck too much. Let the body work. Flex the foot, bring it to a hover. Circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse your circle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, leg swings forward. We bend the heel towards the booty. Take your quad stretch. Stretch it long behind you and swing it forward once more. We've got 2 more like this. Almost done. Don't forget about that stability in the center. Don't just knock this around. Reach it behind you one last time, and then bring your legs together. From here, press yourself up to seated. We're going to mix it up today. We're not going to do teasers, which is, some people would say is a taboo, but I'm feeling a little rebellious. And I always feel a little rebellious, but today's a more chill class. So we're going to do some mermaid side bending to finish, and then a little extra stretching. And then you'll be ready for the rest of whatever time of day it is for you. So we're going to start with sitting on our left side. We'll mix it up. Right or left side, it doesn't matter. But you have options with your legs. You can stack your legs one on top of the other like so. If this is way too hard to hold, you can take a triangle shape with your legs. So you'll have one shin parallel to the long edge of the mat, and then the other will come parallel to the short edge of the mat. This gives you a little more room for your hips, and it can also be a nice hip opener as well. I like to sit in this position and kind of work on twisting and getting some openness into my hips. So either of these are great. I'm going to take the tighter position here because it looks more like a mermaid. I'm feeling the fantasy a little more today. So from here, the arm that's away from your legs is going to come up to the ceiling. You're going to take an inhale here. That same thing when we talked about saw, lifting the ribs from the hips, happens on your inhale. On your exhale, you tip at the waist over towards your legs. Imagine there's something underneath your ribs and you're almost like a whale or a mermaid. You're breaching up and over out of the water. And then come all the way back. Bring your arms to a T. Reach yourself away from your legs and slowly come down on that opposite forearm. Lift, arc up and over for a counter stretch. So we get a little flow going here. We come all the way back up and tip up and over. And come out to a T, feel that reach, get it a little dramatic. Slow and graceful, come back over for counter stretch. We come up and over. Big side bend. Up to a T, reach. It's always fun to kind of dance through this a little bit. And then last time we come up and over. And big counter stretch. Coming up to seated, little flick over to the other side. You don't have to do that. That's actually a more classic transition where you kind of come up through a little teaser to the other side. Whoop. It is fun. But you don't have to do it. All right, let's find our stack. Now we go to the other side. We're going to start with that slower one for precision, and then we'll start flowing through. Arm comes up to the ceiling. Be mindful of your shoulder and your ear. We want to keep them away from each other. It's not that we don't want them to like each other, but they're better when they're apart. That's their relationship. You're going to take an inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, tip over, find your side bend. Come all the way up, find your T. Reach long past your edge of your mat. Slowly come down on that forearm, lift up and over. Really arc over. Think U shape here. And then find your core, press back up with control. Now we flow. Tip up and over, reach, and then find your reach here in your counter stretch. 2 more times. One side may be more flexible or have more mobility than the other. That's okay. We are not symmetrical beings, and that's why we do Pilates, to give love to both sides a little more equally. Last time. Up and over, and then come all the way back to your start position. Lower down, shake it out. All right, from here, we're going to end with a little front support, but it's going to be a stretchy front support. And we're going to begin in a quadruped position. So you might have heard this called inchworm. You may have heard this called sun salutation or a chaturanga in yoga. It's a similar kind of flow. We're going to kind of start in a plank and roll through to down dog and kind of find a little undulation to finish here. I'm not too concerned about this being very spicy. I want you to find a lot of rhythm and find a lot of stretch here. So with that in mind, you're going to bring your legs back into a plank position. Your legs can be a little wider today because we're going to move through down dog. From here in your plank, pike your hips up to the ceiling, find a down dog. Now from here, lift your heels, start to roll through your spine. Thanks for the heads up on my mic. She almost lasted till the end. That was the suspenseful element of today. My mic was running low on battery, so we almost made it. Thank you for the heads up. And also, hello. Good to see you. All right, so that was class. So I hope you enjoyed. Today was a little different. It was a little more chill than we usually go. There's always a little level of spice with Pilates, but this is a fun way to mix it up. There is a way to do a more restorative, flowy kind of Pilates class, and I hope you we hope you enjoyed. Yes, I do have VODs. Good question. So all of the videos all the classes are up on my highlights, so I make sure to have all of them up there. If you have any issue finding them on Twitch, they're also up on my YouTube channel because I'm simultaneously streaming on both. So if you have any issue finding them, let me know. But yes, I do. Thanks for asking. And speaking of upcoming classes, we're going to be on a new schedule. January was, we did a lot of classes, mostly for me to get back into the swing of things. But we're going to go now into what will be the schedule for the next few months. So this time, every Sunday at 10 a.m. EST, there will be a Sunday class. And that's just a classic mat class. No theme necessarily, and we'll just flow through a class, open level, have some fun doing Pilates. And then the third Tuesday of every month is Cos Pilates. So this month we did a trilogy of Cos Pilates, which was a lot of fun, but we're gonna wind it down and do make an extra special once a month Cos Pilates. And I'm thinking it's going to be Final Fantasy VII themed because Rebirth comes out on the 29th of February. So if you have a special request for a certain character for that Cos Pilates, let me know. I have done Tifa in the past, and I have a Tifa costume. But I would be happy and honored to do any of those characters. So if you have a preference, let me know. So we'll probably do Final Fantasy VII Cos Pilates. And then that will be Sid's a good one. That could be interesting. Oh, or Vincent. I like that. Okay. Now the gears are flowing. Maybe we do like a mix. Maybe I have multiple costume changes throughout class. I just like do a lot of costume reveals to different characters. That would be a show. And something I would genuinely love to do. Okay. You've inspired me. I've got a couple new ideas now. So definitely, if you want to see what I end up coming up with, stay tuned for the third Tuesday of February for Cos Pilates Final Fantasy VII. So that will be the schedule every Sunday and third Tuesday of the month. I'm hoping to post some more pre-recorded class content on my YouTube page in the coming months. I just got all of my footage uploaded to my computer, and I'm hopefully going to start editing that soon. So if you're looking for some pre-recorded content or live content, there's going to be a lot more stuff coming from me over the next few weeks, which I'm really excited about. But in the meantime, if you would like, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok, because now I'm hip and happening, at Move with Sarah. Move W Sarah with an H. I only have 2 TikToks up right now, but I'm working on getting that looking pretty good. So if you've got any TikTok tips, let me know. I'm brand new to it, and I just feel like an old geezer on there. So, all right, that's class today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any feedback, and stay awesome, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Bye.